Alright, so we do usual shuffling, and we have Team 1 here at the top, Team 2 here at the bottom. So Team 2, 1 up top, and Team 2, we're going to have an introduction to the peoples. And first off, down in the bottom slot for Team number 1, it is a Lila Stinger. We're just going to ignore the Z, and he's gone to Cybrin, he's gone Lavender. Beside him, we have Blue Euthanizers. Charming. Anyway, he's Aeon, and he's blue, funnily enough. Beside blue in the another front slot is Gumpy. Gumpy is Seraphim. Gumpy is in pale pink. And for last person up front for Team number 1 is Ryphen. Ryphen is also known as Matry, so you might recognize him. But anyway, he's Aeon and he is in Vomit Yellow. Finally, to finish off Team number 1 in the rearguard air position, if you like, it is Google. And Google is also Aeon and he is in proper yellow instead of Vomit Yellow. Anyway, that's Team number 1. Let's have a look at Team number 2 down the other side. And start down the bottom like we did before. We have Long Term Owner. It's pretty short term anyway. He's Cybrin, he's orange. Beside long term we have Rowie. Good friend Rowie, and he is Cybrin. Nice red colour there. Beside Rowie it is Boxeroo. Boxeroo is also Cybrin, and he's blue. And finally for the front line it is Sapir. Sapir is Seraphim, Sapir is green. And to finish off for Team number 2 in the rearguard air position, it is Gingerbread Man. He's UVF and he's burgundy. Alright, let's have a look at the map, and it is a random one. There's a few rocks dotted around you can grab for some early reclaim, and then some couple of small mass fields up here, but overall the whole map has under 5,000 mass. It's really not much. And excuse me, I'm about to cough horribly. Excuse me. And we say thank you to the mute button. Alright, so back into the game, and we see here we have people moving up already, Boxer and Sapir. Getting the comms up this way very early on, so it's like they want to get a hold of this reclaim field. Really, not a lot there. I mean, in case you want to get it and not let your opponent have it, this is true. Because if you let them get that, it's only 640 mass, but still that's like most of a T2 mix. And it's going to help them out hugely. Here we have 420 with a couple of rocks, and basically nothing down here. There's like a rock here to get, and that's really about it. Okay, there's a wee bit of water, so commanders who are under, and this is a naval factory. I was going to say commanders who are under pressure can dip into the water for a bit of safety, but not if there's a couple of factories with subs that might come out of there. So long term is also Cybrin, so he could build destroyers and they could go for a wander on land, but we'll see how that develops anyway. Another point here for a quick dip. Maybe it's deep enough. This spot here might be deep enough for a comm to hide in, but can probably still be ground fired even at that stage. Alright, up here. Walk them of their reclaim. Yes, I know exactly what that means. Totally. Guys, actually looks like he wants to get them off the reclaim, so if two comms come over this way, it will absolutely shoot Ryphen away. He's not going to be able to stand there by himself and take care of that. And Gumpy's a bit of distance away, so he's not going to be able to work either. Do have a small run by from Rowie trying to get a hunter out and do some damage, but has been spotted and is not going to last the distance. He's a real dodgy little bastard, isn't he? Finally gets some extra shots off, couldn't quite take down anything. That's right, he had some fun. Alright, T1 PD, and that's not a bad shout actually. It's a very narrow spot, so not much is going to get through. Of course, you know, a single T1 AD will be able to deal with that. And we mentioned before what could happen. 2 versus 1 in the comp section, and Ryphen just goes, nope, I'm leaving. I'm out of here. I am not staying for that. Minos coming from Gumpy, but they're not going to be much of a threat towards a couple of commanders. Not at all. And that's a engineer drop up on the ridge from Gingerbread, so he just wants to grab some of the extra ego there. I feel like they could have walked there. You can, so it's not closed off. Ground units can just simply wander on through these spots, but it's going to give them a couple of extra mixes, a little bit of reclaim. And there we go, factories up. That's hilarious. I gotta say, I do find that amusing. I mean, they know it's there, right? Yeah, got a radar. I know it's there. Got another radar. Okay, they both got radar, so everybody knows where everything is at the front down there. Up the top, these guys have been schlepping up the rocks as good as they can. Gonna need to be careful though, because Ryphen is grabbing an upgrade. And of course, with the Aeon guns, they go one by one to you, so it's nice. It's broken in two. Means you can get the upgrades faster and sitting still for less time. It does mean you need to get two of them, but hey, much it still. With him there, and if Gumpy comes on up, is going to put Sapir and Boxer in a wee bit of a precarious position because they will now be behind. That will have been pinged out. So the comms on an upgrade. The decision is either push or run away. And it seems like the decision is going to be run away because Boxer's gone to the left, while Sapir's gone to the right and is looking to push it. Going to have to be careful though. Good old Auroras with their extra range, and he's just going to take a wee bit of a tickle damage there. Tickle yes, damage yes. And any moment now that speed upgrade is going to get done, and Sapir is going to be in some trouble. There we go, the upgrade is done, and we now have a speedy comb, so it doesn't have the extra range on this commander, but it does have a bit of fire twice as fast. And this should precipitate Sapir into thinking maybe pushing that's a bad idea. Which is indeed exactly what happens, and he looks to fall back. Checking out the rest of the map, and we have gun on the way for Lila, we have T2 on the way for Blue, and we have gun on the way for Rowie. Curiously, nobody's picked up this rock. They're sitting there quite healthy, quite happy, just waiting for anybody to say good day to that. What is this? And there we go, frigates out. Hilarious frigates. Down this side we saw units trying to do a push down here. There is a point defense plus some units in defending, so long term it's going to be quite happy to hold that front for now. Up here though, it's a bit of a band building up, so Lila's not too shabby himself. Now we see these frigates are... oh, they're just being nuisance really, just going to take out some of these Auroras because they can. In the area, Aurora's trying to be all ducky and dodgy and weavy, but that's not going to help them too much when the muzzle velocity of these guys is pretty onto it. However, along comes Commander, and Commander will probably have overcharged. Nope, slapping down a T1 PD. They ain't going to be able to stay there very long. And it's up, it starts firing, and these guys are going to be done for pretty quickly. Right. Up here we see Ryfen has completed the other gun upgrade for his comms, so he's got both the range and speed. That makes him very dangerous to deal with. Alright, and Sapir decides to try and start a gun upgrade on the front, has units around him to defend, and does have Boxer in the region to assist. Means that could go pretty quickly. Rowie starting laser, I'm guessing that was a misclick and he meant to click on something else. Yes indeed, because he goes stealth, and Blue having the T2 has pretty much made Navy from here redundant. Yes it goes, and this is a TD shift on that, which I don't think there will be. Alright, gun upgrade is almost done. Sapir just needing a wee bit of a boost from his teammates, which he's getting. And as soon as that's done, good morning Iger. How are we doing today, my friend? Nice to see you. There we go. Sapir is now a full-fledged gun comm as well, and he just needs to hold these forces off while Boxer gets his upgrade, which is being heavily assisted by engineers. So, yeah. Don't stand too still though, because T1 Ardy will ruin your day. Gumpy's in there without any upgrade, so once Box is done, it's going to be 2 upgraded commanders versus 1 upgraded commander. Still, that's where things going to be, and that's a much bigger force for Lila compared to what Long Term has. So Long Term down here has got a couple of T1 PD, but this force can run roughshod over. Oh yeah, I'm so glad of this Friday. I needed Friday. This week it's been rough. And there we go, Boxer is now a gun comm as well. So 2 gun comms and units versus a single gun comm and a blank one. Nothing doing on him. And as long as they can keep the units away from arriving, they'll be alright. Yeah, two gun comms against one, never gonna end well. However, Aeon gun comms still have the most range compared to others. And if this kind of thing happens, where they walk out of range, out of visual, out of radar. Nope, they can see him, they just can't shoot him because he's a little bit too far away. Yeah, there we go. So he's using that range incredibly well, keeping his comm just out, right on the fringes, to make life annoying for these guys. Right, up here what we got? We have Rowie pushing up with his stealth gun comp, but he wanders into a couple of point defense. That's not going to end well. He needs to keep falling back before he has a horrible accident. And speaking of horrible things happening, this is long term being pushed by a huge swarm of units, and actually he does have tier 1 PD, and this is all tanks. There's no RC in there. And there's comms up the front as well, but that is a gun comm from Lila, where it's been not great for long term. Gonna step down to tier 1 PD, but it's not going to last long, especially with Lila walking up and saying g'day, and we shall say goodbye to that. Long term things, I'm not staying. I'm gonna keep walking. Doesn't have a lot down here, and you can see this point defense getting shot through the angled spot where there's no walls, and it just basically dies. Easy as you like. Alright, stealth on the way for Boxer. That's going to make him a nasty comp to deal with. No radar, which means things like Auroras and an Aeon gun comm. Where the hell's he gone? Actually have to get in visual range to be able to see him and shoot at him. That's actually a really good idea, because they are heavily relying on their radar to be able to see them. So have a look now. Can't see the comm on radar, can't shoot at them. Must have visual, which means anything they're shooting at this comm is going to be in range. T2 is on the way for Sapir, needs a bit of extra health, or maybe a bit of extra bow power, because that is... What is the PD? Sorry, I look weird from that angle. Alright, Gumby's got himself a gun comm as well, so he'll be alright. So it's now 2 gun comms versus 2 gun comms, and Boxer may be pushing just a wee bit far there. He has now got 2 gun comms pointing at him, plus a bunch of units. Now looks like Sapir's going to send in his band as well, just to help shoot the numbers away. If he can get that upgrade done quickly, he can slap down to T2 PD, it's going to be a huge help. Because of course that'll outrange basically everything, but he needs to make sure Boxer lives, and Gumpy is down to the yellow, but so is Boxer. Boxer's just about down to the red actually, under 3,000. Going to get away thanks to the units coming over from Sapir. They're just pushing these guys back some, and if he can, like I said, if he can finish that, it will be a huge help. Doesn't want to throw all his units just yet. Get that done, and then get your comm back up on the front, just so that it can do that. Right, PD is there, great. Get your engines on that and throw your comm back in front for the damage soak. Right, down here I hear Vipers. And indeed, Vipers out from Rowie, and they're going to have a whale of a time killing off units unless they sit too close. Wait, where's that landing? No, it won't, it's landing on it, but it dies anyway. And more Viper fire can go down. Are we seeing a T2 shift? Well, we're seeing it planned. The question is whether it will or will not manage it. Alright, up here we see Rife in a little bit of trouble. Down into yellow with this comm, must be careful. Gumpy down into yellow as well. Sapir's looking just tipped into the yellow now, but he has lost one of his T2BDs, thanks to probably Rife pushing up, and Boxer can't do a heck of a lot with his comm. He's down to 3.5, so he doesn't want to loiter around too much either. Sapir's got 9. Honestly, I'll probably stand in front of that PD and build the second one. Use your comm as a bit of a meat shield just to help out with that, because at the moment that's not working. Every time they build one, these guys are pushing on up and they're taking it out, and it's just causing extra issues for that kind of thing. So just like that. Oh look, he finished it. Oh look, it's dead. So T2's not working too well here, and Sapir is down to 8,000. Ryfen is down into the red though, so Ryfen needs to think about leaving the vicinity before he gets demoted into wreckage. And he is actually being chased down by Sapir. This could be Ryfen. Ryfen 6. Oh, he gets a rank in veterancy at a critical stage, and that is a problem for Sapir, because he was pushing to get the kill and now he is surrounded and being shot down. That I've never seen a more well-timed rank of veterancy. And he was in range. He was in range. Very low though, 600 health. Absolutely bugger all left. And that is Sapir's base out of the game. Just needs a sneeze and he will be done. 1000 health starts a shield upgrade on his gun because he needs some extra health pretty darn quick smart. The shield will do that. Take a bit of extra health on that front. But what is this? Oh, this is what I think it is. These are... I haven't seen a beetle drop in a long time. I have not seen a beetle drop. They're gonna land and they're gonna go for it. And they're gonna get him. Oh my word. I have not seen a beetle drop for a long time, but that is hilarious. It worked, and Ryfin, the rank of veterancy was so critical to his survival at that point to get away from Sapir. But Beetle's gonna beetle. He's out. Okay, so that actually evens things up. That's now one person dead apiece. Both sides have T3 air in the skies. I've been looking at those there. Is that more beetles? Yes, it is more beetles. I don't know that that's going to work. They're aware of the beetles. It's not really going to work there. But having a look at the bottom, let's just have a check out. And there was a T2 factory completed. But there's been a point defense put in range, and it's not going to last. It's actually regenerating pretty good, but never mind that, because these units are pushing up, and long term has nothing on the ground right now. He is 100% being supported by Rowie, absolutely overrun by Lila, and the naval factory is now under threat as well. The question is, can that destroyer even finish? The answer is probably, but it's not going to be able to do a lot because it's surrounded by units and a T2PD. So hang, you might as well control K that. Oh no, leave the factory up. It's distracting these guys for now, giving a chance for all this lot to come over and kill it. Rogue can wander over this comm. Now we have a Cerberus turret down here which can help picking off units too. So yeah, while they're distracted looking at that, that is giving these guys time to get a little bit of support down to it's under control. Alright, now there's some reclaim. That was a it wasn't an awful idea, but maybe it would have been better off built back here. I actually don't know if they could. Okay, that's as far in as it could be built by the look of it. So we did build it approximately. We did have a second one planned earlier, but yeah, probably a bit ambitious to try and get a naval factory up and running on this map. I feel like if you control enough of that to be able to do it, you probably got enough to win anyway. And hello, Boxer with a run by. He's sending a bunch of units up this way, and we see it is Google sitting with an. Well, he's getting an upgrade on the comm, and he has got a few T1 PD planes. So okay, so he's got T2 on his comm now, so he can put down some point defense pretty darn quickly. And pretty darn quickly is how fast those are going down, and that will absolutely help shoot the units of Boxeroo, who is well, changed his mind about his direction of travel. Maybe he could have pushed in here, picked up a T2 mix or two. No, they're all T1. But that could have been a different story, although maybe he's going for a cutoff. If you can get these units behind and get these units in front, that's going to be a bit of a sandwich effect for Gumpy's forces. Whereas Gumpy's comm is safe back in the space, he's fine. He's still got guns, so he can just walk out and help blather all those with some overcharges. And down here we see the units from Lila have finally been shooed away in the face of T2 plus T2 PD, and Blue's out with some engineers already grabbing reclaim. He wants that mass as much as possible, but we see some other units from Long Term doing the same thing, and they're grabbing what they can as well. I think there might have been more of the destroyer than the factory. Anyway, units up here from Boxer are running out towards some rhinos, but they've run into some Ilshivers and a T1 PD. So they're not going to last too much longer at this rate. What do we have? There's still the Boxer Gumpy show. Rhino's loitering damage to get totaled by some Ilshivers. There was a mobile missile launcher moving its way to the front, but in the front of the forces. Never a good place for that to be. Right down here, a small wee push from long term with just a few mantis and sack launching. Are they going for the com? No, they're not. Oh, maybe they are. I thought maybe they're going past. Why am I going for this one? This would be a great target actually. This is a T2 Mexus Honest upgrade, and there is no TMD. So he kills that, and that's going to be not just the T2 mix, but also the upgrades that are going on, and likely to maybe pick up a factory or two at the same time. And there we go, another tank launcher here from Rowie. This is another attempt on the commander. Yes sir, is, but Lala moves out of the way. So it just turns into 3 wasted attack missiles. Kill the eco. Kill that. Kill that. Already killed one all the way back here, and there's a zapper going off. And Blue's eco is exposed from this one. Could lob a attack up this way, or maybe even here. There is some TMD in the middle, but it is Aeon TMD, so it's not going to be hugely effective. There are some vulnerable mixes. Oh, where's that going? Going off to the left again, and he did take out the T2 mix there. Just good boy. What you want to do. Locking down eco, and what has that done to Liner? Well, he's down to 27 mass income, maybe about to go worse. About to go worse indeed. That mix, now he's down to 29. Oh dear. He's had his eco tacked into oblivion compared to everybody else. I mean, have a look at, well, I would say 144 for Blue, 19 for Lila. That's nasty. Hello, Harbingers. They're going to push up on this position, and they're going to be able to do a lot of damage because that's just T1 PD. Doesn't really slow Harbingers down that much. I'm fairly certain they can outrange it. They can't outrange Cerberus turrets or rocket bots, but they can still do some decent damage. But there's just a little too much firepower there to try and deal with. Trying to kill off the T1 PD is not a bad shout. Get those down, and there's not going to be a lot left on the ground to slow them. Some T2 units, yes, but the T1 PD is probably some of the biggest threat. And trying to do dodgy bits, but not really helping out a huge amount of this guy. It is actually going to get away. Just 400 health, 300, 200. He will survive. Now there's 2 Cerberus turrets and bricks. So bricks are going to keep the Harbingers at bay. What's been going on at the top? Well, that's been a drop from Gingerbread. He's thrown down a couple of factories, and it's now T1 spam. Lobo spam, because why not? Static position here, we have a bunch of units from Gumpy just holding a line. Or there's a larger force from Boxer ready to move on in. Well, it has got radar. Boxer, of course, has stealth being Siren. So a lot of these cannot be seen if we just see what it can actually see. That's what you can see. Nothing. None of that. Nix. Nada niente. Until those fly over. Then we go, oh, units. Crap. Hearing. All gunships, those broadswords. 5 broadswords on the way, and they are making a beeline for Rowie. He is under a pair of shields. He's got mobile shields as well. Got a couple of flak rounds. And the question is, can they pop out enough damage? Well, probably not. There's his shield's going to go down, but combined with the extra, yeah, just too many shields at that point. Broadswords are nice and strong. They are nice and tough, but that's a lot of flak around. We've got 1, 2. At least 2 mobile flak, got some mobile shields, got some static flak as well. Yeah, the broadswords, we're not going to have a good time with that at all. So they've fallen back, and we're going to have a worse time because ASF turned up. But at the moment, got some fighting going on here. Got a T2 PD playing our favourite game, which is fuck the ground. Nobody likes the ground. Absolutely nobody. Let's actually have an ASF count just while we're looking at that kind of thing. We have 15 on the field for Google. Compare that to the 9. Not awful. fairly even if it were the large numbers, but at the moment it's almost a 50%. And Sapio says something we've been thinking. Orange might get overrun without units, and he doesn't have units. What? I'm sorry, but what? A soothsayer. Why would you put such a huge, expensive, fragile structure on your front line? Like, that's a terrible place for it. You've got no defenses. You've got like a single service turret back here doing particular things, and another soothsayer going up. So really wants to get that intel, and what he wants to be getting is units. He has got T3 factory back here, starting to pump out some loyalists. Maybe wants to consider something a wee bit tougher like a brick, because bricks do this kind of thing. They stand, they hold a line, and they can take out a bunch of enemies. Pretty much exactly like that. Grab some bricks, grab some PD, grab some extra units, and they can shred quite happily. Up the top here, and we've got some restorers, and they are getting to absolute work. They're not huge on the air to ground damage. It takes them much longer to kill things compared to units like the broadsword, which melts ground units. Restorers take a much longer time to do so, but they are anti-air primarily. We have a look at these guys on that, so we can spot the air having to go there. Restorers do more DPS. Maybe not. Let's see, DPS 140 is what a restorer does to the ground. Switch over to the Audi broadswords. The DPS is 250, so way more damaging. Way more damaging. What has gone on here? It looks like Lila has been forced to fall back in the face of a T2 out here, just picking off units. And built the soothsayer. Cool, so he can see, well, I would say diddly squat, because he's stolen power. Well, stolen power. I mean, he built the soothsayer, but he couldn't actually power it. You couldn't have your eco sorted for anything else, and the units up here are just getting wiped. Restorers are having a grand old time killing whatever they want to. Units are coming from Gumpy as well. They're doing a clean up behind, and now these engineers ready to move on up, ready to grab all the wreckage because there's a lot of it. Have a look at that. 12k reclaim ready to go. These restorers aren't stopping anytime soon. That brick get there. Probably a drop. Trying to do its best. It has taken out a whole swarm of engineers there. Don't know if it was worth it, and now some Ranger the comments is going to die a horrible death. Not getting much else done. But those restorers are absolutely getting to work. Killing off so much. And this top plateau is well and firmly in command of Gumpy, and excuse the hiccups. Dear oh dear. Oof. The kind of hiccups that just hurt a wee bit. Okay. Check out the air game, and we have 30 ASF, 16 restorers versus 19 ASF. So Gumpy, sorry, not Gumpy. Yes, Gumpy. Gumpy is supported by air. He's very well established up here. Ginger is quite behind on the air game, and not only just the ASF but the restorers as well, because they are very tough, very chunky. So they've got like 3 times the health of ASF, and they are hard to kill, and they have anti-air. A very, very difficult situation to be in when you're behind on ASF. You don't really want to risk it. Let's check out what's going on here. We have 3 air factories out for Google. A 4th one over here actually, and he started and paused. GC looks like he's running low on power. Wants to get that sorted. What's going on this direction? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. Brain failing 5. 5 air factories for Gingerbread. He's getting an upgrade, probably the resource allocation upgrade, get some more eco. This is hilarious. How long have you guys been shooting at the ground for? I gotta ask. Fuck that hill in particular. That one, right there. Nobody likes it. Deserves a death apparently. But Vipers are succeeding where Bricks cannot, because they have whoa, experimental done by Rowie, and that is, oh, I should call this a spider. It's about that time, I guess, but look out, Boxer in trouble. Commander has been focused at by the restorers, and his health is going to start evaporating once those shields are down, which is exactly what has happened. But having said that, it's taken the restorers a while to get through things, and they are running out of numbers. It's going to be close, but I think he's going to be okay. He's got a lot of flak sitting around him as well. He's got, yeah, a lot of flak. So it does end up down to 33, 3400. Could have been a different story if he hadn't built so much flak. How much has he got there? Got 7 flak plus a whole bunch of mobile flak. So yeah, he needed that. Needed all that flak to stay alive, but now he's getting pushed on the ground over this way, and there was a shield. There's a bunch of anti-air, and now we've got some T1 PD going up, which might be able to help, and Bricks moving up. Should be the end for this force, although it is mostly T2. It is Ilshivers, which are pretty tough. They will be able to kill off a bunch of things, but not in the face of that much PD and Bricks. Sniper bot versus artillery. But down here, the monkey has pushed right on up and is looking to cut off Blue. Is he going to make it into the water is the question. The answer is no. No, he is not. So Blue is dead, and that is going to be a giant amount of eco gone. Oh my word, so much eco dead. But here come the restorers. Got T1 bombers sitting overhead, and the restorers go for the flak first, because hey, why not? Get rid of that which can damage them the most, and now they're going to turn the attention back to the monkey, and it's going to mostly die. Long term has built an experimental. What have you built? Another monkey. Alright, so Cybermen's getting in with the early experimentals as they do. The cheapest one in the game. The weakest one in the game, arguably. They have their good things, but I would say health wise, a fat boy has less health than a spider bot. And it's really a question of if you can keep the fat boy away, it'll do good things. But the monkey has stealth, you know, so it can just sneak up on things. It's got the laser, can do a ton of damage. But at this point now, it is simply mass. Not much left. Lila's base getting overrun. Got a single brick in there trying to do work, but going to get munted. Plus the law that's coming in from here. So oh dear. T3 HU going to go down, and that's going to be the end of any unit production for Lila, and his base is just wreckage. Eco gone, factories gone, willpower gone, units gone, pretty much got nothing left, and he just kind of wants to keep walking, I guess. He has got gum, but now going on up this way. A lot of Vilshivers, that's what's going on up that way. Plenty of flak on the ground. So it looks like Rowie has gotten quite tired of all these gunships, and now he's built a, how much is that? 18 mobile flak, just there to be protective of the ground units. Maybe they should be protective of this. That would be useful to keep alive. Alright then, let's have a look for other experimentals. So with a second monkey that is stomping its way on up, they're going to need something to stop it out, and there's a Yathota that's been started. I don't think it's going to make it. There's a GC almost done though. Yeah. That one's going to be fine. It's going to make its way, and I'm guessing it will head this way. There's enough units over here to hold for the time being, and we see engineers getting reclaim. Got to reclaim that. But for this point, we can see it as stores on the warpath. Having to fall back though due to this large swath of flak. Lila still has energy, still has power, still has a wee bit of income. What he doesn't have is e-storage. Get some of that and he'll be able to overcharge, and those bricks wouldn't be as much of a problem as they are right now. Alright, restorers come back, and is that flares? I'm guessing the flares were out to try and counter the bangers, but of course bangers have anti-ground as well. They do shoot ground units. But now of course it's a moot point. ASF tussle between Gingerbread and Google, but Google not only has ASF but these restorers as well. Of course they have anti-air. He is going to lose his air wing though, so that's actually finally ASF win in the air for Gingerbread. And it's now restorers up here. Killing off a brick. There will be well worth their metal coming back in this way. I keep wanting to keep these restorers alive because of all this flak though. There's about 17, 8, 7, 15 flak sitting on the ground there, just ready to support that monkey, who is going to be met by a GC. So there we go. That's basically going to be it over. The restorers come back in, going to throw down the extra DPS, and monkey trying to kill off, I'm not sure what he was killing off, T3 engineer apparently. In come the ASF, maybe a wee bit too late to save the monkey. Maybe they can do some damage to restorers, but restorers anti-air of course, so, and there's some SAMs on the ground. Those ASFs might kill off a few, but they're going to be absolutely wiped from the skies. Have a look at that. Plus ASF coming back from blue, so that's another solid air win for Team 1. And up the top here, a lot of bricks. Facing off against mostly T2. Got a couple of sniper ones, got a T3RD, so if these guys stand in formation in the area, the T3RD is going to have a whale of a time bringing us over. But what's the plan? Well, the plan is crab. And that crab is going up pretty darn quick, 95 out of 110,000 health. By the time I finish the house, I already gained another 100,000 health. That's going to be done before you know it. They have to defend against it. Well, they've got one. Oh, that's mostly okay actually. GC's pretty okay. And scoop the mass from. They've got a floater on the way as well, and they can finish that, and that would help. They have another GC being built. A bit slow perhaps. There's not a lot of build power on it. That's all T1. Only thing that's T3 is the commander. But we have more attacks coming out from this thing, and what's it going for? Trying to find some exposed mixes, and find them it does. Launch 2 missiles, kill the mix, kill the wreckage, but nothing to build on. What kind of range it is? Well, it's really going for this T3 mix up here. That's why 2 missiles. It's going to need 2 of them to kill off a T3 mass extractor. Smaff. Right, 2 armies facing off. You see some sniper bot fire coming in, nice long range, tickling away at the units as they scuttle around. But there's a grab. That's a grab. Alright, so bricks get in range, and they're going to start mopping up units quite heavily. Snipers need to think about falling back there, not frontline units. As soon as they get found, they will be deaded. Where's the GC going? Wrong way, apparently. It's decided it doesn't want any part of this army. Why? Well, finally been some TMD put down, and it is going to keep this alive for now. But, you know, good old Cybrid missiles, they do get split when they're shot, so they still do damage. And there we go, the crab has arrived. And the crab is just smashing. It's all T2, or some not frontline T3. Pretty much just free kills for this guy. Alright, GC is back this way. And is that because he wants to meet up with his friends? Another second GC almost done, and the chicken also done. So that's actually going to be a 3 versus 1 up the top. 2 GCs and a chicken versus 1 crab and to be fair, a good number of bricks, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. We have to find out. The air game looks like it has evened up somewhat. We see Gingerbread sitting on 54. 53 for Google, so very even on that, except Google of course has 23 restorers. And those things are just annoying. Extra air power. Alright, there has been a bunch of factories put up here from Rowie, and I think this is just going to be spam. Go down a bunch of T1 factories, start spamming out a bunch of units and just cause a nuisance of yourself. We can see Lila here was trying to get himself sorted, get back into the game, is getting an upgrade on the T1 mass extractor. Needs all the mace he can get because he's had to work and he's living off power from his teammates, I'd say. Most likely. Alright. In comes the crab and a line of doom from those PD. Alright, Yathota says g'day, and the crab starts walking away because nobody wants to deal with that. In come the restorers, in comes the air wing from Gingerbread. Going to take out a few of them, but now this allows Google's ASF to get right in behind and just clean the skies up. That should be an air win for Google, but up here it is Yathota, GC and a GC. Yathota changes his mind, decides to not shoot the crab. It is now actually focusing down the bricks because it is gonna die. There we go, die it does. Crab gets a rank of Verocy earlier. Needs one more, but it's not gonna get it. Goes down, and now there's just a couple of GCs. And they're just going to crack open those crabs. Just bricks. Bye. Well done, me. Anyway, there's still 2 GCs left though. And not a bad trade. Not a bad trade at all. However, while they're doing good up this side, problems down this way. A whole bunch of tier 1 PD put up. Of course, that's going to do absolutely jack against a swarm of tier 1 arty. And those shells are just going to land and mop up those. This is a good answer. Harbingers, they will absolutely be able to clear. Oh, hello, another grab. I completely missed that. And he's built another one. And a monkey down there. So we've got a crab and we've got a monkey. Harbingers not having a great time. They've got a crab and bricks in their face. They are just simply going to die. Lila has been trying to get his base re-established this entire time. Just working on eco. He's got a couple of T3 mechs, which is all well and good. The problem is, it's all going to die. Nothing you can do about it. Alright, the restorers are still floating around. And Gingerbread has another go at them, but gets sweet fuck all done, to be honest. And now this crab is still moving around. Another GC on the way, plus restorers. I don't think the crab's going to do too well. The 2 GCs here from Google are trying to push their way forwards. They are walking into Fatboy fire, but they are faster than the Fatboy. They will catch up to it. Question is, how much health will they have left by the time they do? That's a big question, isn't it? And they are also moving into T3 army range, so bricks will absolutely help everything survive. Really wanted to kill the Fatboy, I can tell. Basically marching straight at it. The shield's going to go down, but the Fatboy itself I think is going to live. And whatever happens, this GC is not going to be along for this wood with the bricks behind it. Fatboy has been focused and does go down. Ooh, kill that if you can. T3 HQ, kill that. More power. I'll probably go the HQ because, you know, it's no HQ, no building units, has to start all over again. There's a crab on the way. It does have T3 engineers down, so he'll be alright. Kill the air. Shield goes back up, keeps things alive a little bit longer. He is trying to kill energy. And just manages it before dying. So it's quite a bit of damage done by that guy. Got Fatboy 3 T3 pigeons, but all the actions over on the left hand side at the moment, and GC did come down, does survive thanks to the restorers. Beats the crab up, and now those guys are free to just wail upon whatever they want. Just T1 Hardy, as long as the GC keeps moving and a second GC comes along. Really? Ah, there we go. So that's what Long Term's been doing. He's been building all the nukes. Why? Why? I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing. He's going to have a couple of nukes ready to go. But those restorers are absolutely getting work done. They are murdering stuff quite willy-nilly. Bounce gets a wee bit close and dies. GCs are mopping up down here. It's going to be the end of that little wee annoyance from Rowie. Reclaim inbox's base. That's what the doctor ordered. And now he's got units up there. He's looking pretty comfortable. What does Gumpy have? Well, Gumpy's building an Awassa. How fair enough. You got air control. Building a Awassa, because fuck it. And a donut. And a nuke of their own, which is just been built. I thought for a moment it might have a nuke loaded, because it was a low bar, but it has just been built of his own. Alright, Air's still working on it. We see Gingerbread's ASF turn up, and they actually do clean the skies. Have they actually? Ah, the restorers are still loitering around, but his ASF have one victory there. Well, these GCs are still just stomping around. Here we go. There's another monkey crawling up from Rowie. I might be able to slow down the GCs a little bit. Out go the nukes. Got to. It is nuking. Here we go. One nuke, two nuke. And it's actually going. One's going up this way for this nuke launcher, I'd imagine. And the other one is going directly into Gumpy's base. One. Kaboom. Nuke 2. Oh, Gumpy's not far enough away, I don't think. No, he is not. That is Gumpy gone from the game. And, double nuke finish. It is now down to the hapless, I won't say hapless, to Google to try and do something about that. A satellite. Just to be extra irritating. Put them back on the ground, sees Gingerbread. He wants to shoot these while they're on the ground. No, fair enough. Much easier to kill when they're sitting still. We've come out here, going to run into some ASFs, going to kill them off pretty numbers, but there's still a good amount of ASF in the region as well from Gingerbread, so they won't last too much longer. Lila's still in the game. Does have a T3 HQ, so he is trying to build some power. Plenty of mass room to grab, which is exactly what he's doing with these guys. But, I think at this stage it's going to be, yeah, it's pretty much a midpoint. The eco difference is vast of 200 to 1.3, and Novaxes are up. We have crabs getting built, we have nukes getting loaded. Oh, GC made it all the way to the base. It's going to beat the monkey, it beats the monkey, but that's really all it's going to get to. There's too many bricks and too much PD. Down there goes. Good effort, but she wrote just a bit of a desync there, but the game is pretty much over. ASF now hovering overhead, and this is Google saying boo. Slap up some balls. Alright folks, that is basically the first game. Gets a wee bit wonky after this because of the desync, but yeah, well played by Team 2. Nice and even up the top there. We saw Rifen get incredibly lucky with the rank and Venercy to keep him alive from Sapier's death explosion. Didn't quite manage to survive himself though, owing to a very rarely seen fucking Beetle drop. How often do you see Beetle drops these days? Almost never. But Beetle drop it was. And Google catches the nuke with his face. It's out of the game. Which leaves just Lila. And ignore those. It was just the game being unreasonably synced. Anyway, that is our first game of the night.